And with that, it'll about be time to take off.
And we have indeed taken off, and we can already say that I have still yet to be blessed by a sword opening.
Yeah, it's a very, very rare occasion. That is a glove opening.
And this is a very interesting item to find.
Saltyphry, nice!
Oh, we got that bomb!
The presence of mind there, because there's a 50-50 chance of a bomb drop under that rock right outside Link's house. Saltyphry just remembers that and grabs it immediately. That's going to speed up his escape. Huge!
I didn't even look over that because it completely... I mean, I didn't consider that as a possibility at all to lift up that bomb. Or a rock, I mean.
I mean, how often do you get a glove in Link's house, right?
How often do you have glove and hammer as your first two items? And Saltyphry even getting 4 more bombs!
Very nice. Now, that is the first thing in the Dagger Guard's drop list, so I imagine Zheal might pick one up as well. But still, wow. Just the presence of mind to think, hey, there's a bomb drop out here.
Yeah, that's gonna pick up the bomb, but as I was gonna talk a little bit about earlier was that you get the gloves, it's not as necessary for you to farm bombs in Escape because you can easily just fall back down at any point because you have the gloves. That's not gonna be an issue for Frido.
Mm-hmm. There's a red boomerang if you wanted to find out what the stun drop was.
That sounds like a good idea because it just increases the possibility of finding something in Zheal's situation that's going to give him bombs.
Yep.
And Zheal is going to be doing a little bit more farming here, since he's still looking for those bombs.
And there's our map, which means we will be opening the chest in Sanctuary.
Yep, no skipping that one in this seed. Players will still want to find some rupees for the bottled merchant check. They will need 50 rupees since they can easily get 50 in Kakariko.
And there's another possible weapon for this escape, the Cane of Perna, though we don't have enough magic really to make use of it. And why would you with the hammer?
Yeah, indeed, it's a pretty weird item to get in this situation. It's very unlikely that we will see it used for quite some time.
So, here's a question for you. How often do you come into Escape just Moon Pearl away from Dark World access?
Extremely rarely. It's not like Dark World access right now is going to change their routing. They're almost certainly still going to go through the basics of Kakariko before anyway. That said, Zheal still needs to do a bit more farming and hoping that he will pick up a bomb or two.
Yeah, if Zheal could get 1 drop from the Dagger Guards, he would have 4. He just hasn't killed enough of those.
Also, still haven't gotten to see the stun prize from using the boomerang. Could also just be that Zheal is opting to do no farming at all and just rush towards the exit as fast as possible.
Yeah, when you have the glove, it's not that big a deal. Oh, there's 1 bomb. So Zheal has the bomb now.
Yeah, yes, as I say that, he decides to kill every single snake in that room except for 1 and gets his bomb.
We knew this key was going to be in that spot, and the sink is real.
Zheal has a full magic. Unlikely that this is going to matter that much. A little bit better rat RNG for Fry, but not too big of a deal. Oh wow, that 8th bomb drop for Zheal is extremely convenient.
Sick. Well, there's those 50 rupees that are not too bad there.
Yeah, and with the additional 50 you can get easily in Kakariko. That's enough for the bottle merchant. Zheal is almost certainly not going to buy bombs, but Fry may have to.
Yeah, it depends on if we get like some tree pull action or whatever we do here in a little bit. Saltyphry finishing or doing the screen transition at 5:58 and Zheal at about an actual 6 minutes, so a pretty close race. And there's the other boomerang.
Both boomerangs in tow. They did some very nice timings with this escape and got out very impressive times. So having to also do some farming and not having one of the faster items like the fire rod.
Alright, so we see a divergence immediately. Saltyphry is not going to bother checking the lumberjack cave, while Zheal may be doing so. Both of them, however, are going to pick up these 80 rupees from the tree pull.
Yeah, and this is consistent with their past performances in this tournament. Fry prefers to not check lumberjack.
And it does look like he will not need to check lumberjack, as that is just a 10 arrow upgrade.
May still at some point go back and check that, and still has to run away from this bee. You got more than enough rupees now for anything that the Kakariko has in store.
Yep, found 100 inside the little thieves' hideout there.
So despite getting all of these nice UC items, no item locations are unlocked, so still looking for a lot of items here. Fry finding 3 bombs, 20 rupees, a very nice early half magic pickup and 20 more rupees.
Alright, so half magic inside Blind's hut. Never something you're unhappy to see.
Absolutely not. It's a very nice item, but once again, it's not an item that's gonna unlock any item locations.
And there's only one possibility for the half magic unlocking an item location, quote unquote, and they've already got the Cane of Brian. There's the Titansmiths.
Okay, how often do you get to see Mitz and Hammer before the Moon Pearl?
It's not the most uncommon thing, but it's pretty uncommon.
That's an early cape as well, and suddenly this Moon Pearl may end up being in a not so welcome location.
Moon Pearl on Pyramid would just be the worst.
Well, at this point, more nice items, but still missing something that gives progression. Actual progression in terms of item locations.
More big 20s from the chicken hut.
Despite that, this is still a quite generous seed in terms of bombs and rupees. Heart is the main concern at this point.
Okay, so we've got our map check. That is the 5 crystal on Eastern Palace. We've got Desert as a green pendant. and Hera as a red pendant. So only gonna have one pendant dungeon in the Dark World. That
Still
means
find
at
it-
least one medallion is required.
Yes, that is true. And Tower of Hera is still very likely going to be a convenient check since they have to get up there at some point. But if it is basement locked, they may decide to not want to spend that time.
Mm-hmm. All right, so saltyphry is now going to head south toward the South Shore area. That's 7 rather convenient items, and then one more that's kind of out of the way.
Yeah, that one over in Iceroy Cave, and saltyphry has been someone that actually have skipped checking that cave in the past.
There is 10 arrows in the dam.
We're just waiting to get something that unlocks anything at this point so that we can start to see where the seed is going. Mostly it's pointing towards Aga 1 is not going to be required, but then that cape showed up and we're not as certain anymore.
Alright, so now we head over to the mini Moldorm cave to find 5 items in here.
Do you want to use bombs, hammer, or cane straps for this room?
I think it might be like a combination.
Salt?
Well, okay, the half magic makes the cane strats kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, definitely. Putting that to good use.
So far, nothing that important in Mini Moldorm Cave. Yeah, only thing was a shield, and that's not relevant to the logic right now at all.
Yeah. Starting to really run out of locations here. It makes a lot of sense to check Ice Rod Cave. And I guess there is one item location that is unlocked, and that is Sora. So there's a 300 rupee here in Ice Rod Cave. Making a fake flipper over there sounds like a pretty good idea.
Yeah, that's certainly a possibility.
Some good dodging by Fry.
Those crabs do not like you. That is the official term. And we've got a sword.
Well, now we are a lamp away from Aga 1, and that just continues to kind of throw everything out the window at this point.
Yeah. So basically at this point, I'm thinking you probably head over toward Eastern Palace. There's a bunch of items over there you can get.
Okay, it's at least 5 items, assuming you know the dark rooms, which, honestly, at this caliber, they will be able to do that.
So here's the question: which one do we find first, the moon pearl or the lamp?
I want to say the moon pearl, but you know I could just curse them by doing that.
And if we found the lamp, I'd still probably go Death Mountain first. So there's blue mail inside Sahasrah's closet.
Yeah, that lamp would allow you to do that, but I know also from the past that Fry is not afraid to take that gamble and rush Aga 1 if the situation is given to him.
See, I like to rush Aga 1, but only when I have the Moon Pearl, because then I can do something after Aga. Right? Because otherwise, it's that one location that can have the Moon Pearl.
Yeah, and in this situation, since they have both the gloves and the hammer, doing Aga 1 means that if you have the Moon Pearl, you're not stuck to just entering Palace of Darkness.
And just a burrito in the front of Eastern Palace.
That's really not an item you wanted to see there. And at this point, if they find the Moon Pearl, suddenly this sea is extremely open. It's going to be very interesting to see how they're going to route that.
There's the big key over on the right-hand side. So now I imagine we'll still be seeing our runners head to the big key chest, unless we find the bow, in which case we might see a sequence break, but who knows.
Indeed, who knows? Of course, finding that big key means that you do not have to make the roundabout trip after checking the vanilla big key location.
There's the Quake Medallion. So, if you want to max out the Richter scale, that is your prerogative.
I like that one. I didn't like that compass, though.
Ugh.
Well, that leaves Aegina's Cave and Sora, then.
Very true. Now, what would be interesting is if this chest here turns out to be the Moon Pearl, which means that the lamp would be at one of those locations.
Or an item that leads to one of them. I guess this will be the flutes, and then the lamp could be up on Death Mountain.
Yeah, that could be it as well.
Never put it past Randomizer to do what it likes to do. But if they find nothing here, I imagine Aegina is going to be the first visit. There is a cave on the way that you can farm for 50 rupees, I believe, since they are missing for Sora.
Oh yeah, that's an excellent point. Just bombs in the big key chest, that means saltyphry is going to go looking for the last item here. Now, I wonder if anybody would attempt Dark Aghanim. I don't think anyone would in this particular tournament.
I mean, you can do that, but I don't even know if players are practicing that. Let's say that's gonna make this sequence break up to Death Mountain, it looks like.
Interesting.
Still only 2 items you can sequence break by doing that.
Now, saltyphry is going for Aegina's Cave without checking the money drop. There is another way we can get a hold of a bunch of money.
Can do a hooligan.
Oh, flippers!
I guess Sora is the play after all, but Hobo is first. But do you still take the hooligan here, or hope to find the rupees along the way?
Well, you suddenly have to do a different hooligan because you just picked up the flippers. Right, so you have to go do the bomb jump or something on the hole in the back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh.
hey, Master Sword, what's up?
Well, that's a nice thing to find there. I think Zheal just got 50 rupees or so from the old man. Ooh, that book on top of Spectacle Rock.
Interesting. So that means that you need access to Death Mountain to get the book. So, unless we'll either find the lamp, or we'll find the flute to do that. If it's the flute, then basically the book becomes sort of redundant for reaching desert access.
Oh, with Desert being the green pendant, this book may not be required in the first place.
That's true.
So let's gonna do this rupee farm here for Sora.
Saltyphry is going to find the Bombos medallion in the waterfall cave.
And that being medallion number 2, so picking those up early is always a great feeling since you don't have to worry about those later.
There's the moon pearl on Zora's ledge.
It's a good thing neither of our players decided to fake flip her over to Sora, because then they would have to come back here again. As I said, saltyphry does not have the necessary rupees to check Sora, so he may still need to come back here later.
It's very possible we'll orphan this particular item location.
It's a quite tricky spot to route in, maybe with a catfish check later on.
But the good news for Saltyphry is that means the Dark World is his oyster. I guess that's where pearls come from, is oysters. So there we go.
No comment. It also means that Aga 1 is dead.
Yep, we killed him. We killed him with the power of logic.
All hail logic. Also, I guess all hail Hype Cave.
Yeah, looks like Hype Cave is the thing. So it seems Ice Palace is our remaining pendant, and our remaining 5/6 crystal is the Vanilla 6 crystal on Misery Mire.
Well, that still means there's a lot of items left to find. The flute, both rods, bow, hookshot, cane, obviously.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like Hype Cave is decidedly the opposite of Hype.
Sadly, that seems to be the case more often than not. I do find
Saltyphry looks to be heading towards Stumpsman and the digging game.
it's gonna make this reverse world tour, and I find this a bit interesting because he has the myths. He could have done this the other way around and increased the possibility of finding something like Mirror on the way to be able to check Cave 45.
Yeah, that's true.
But this could also be a way of trying to maximize the possibility of getting the fire rod before heading to Skull Woods.
Oh yeah, that's very possibly true as well.
Well, Zheal's gonna get his Moon Pearl soon, and it's time to do some digging here.
Yep. We'll also get to see what Zora has from Zheal here. Just a piece of heart for Saltyphry at the digging game.
It's a vanilla piece of heart.
And similarly, a piece of heart at Zora. Now, Zheal will be going to get that moon pearl off the ledge.
Now here's an interesting thing with Saltyphry picking up this frog. He will not be able to go into Thieves Town here.
Yeah, it's possible he has no real interest in Thieves Town at the moment. We'll see.
That's always interesting because Thieves Town tends to be a very high priority. It's a crystal, you can full clear it, you even have the hammer.
And we see that Zheal is actually going to go ahead and head to the Dark World from the Kakariko portal.
Yeah, which means that our players will be checking items here in reverse locations, in reverse order.
We'll see if Zheal decides to go to Thieves Town or Skull Woods first.
He's a little bit more incentivized to go up to Skull Woods and Silver's Fry. But after checking Skull Woods, then go and check Bumper Cave because you already have that cape.
Oh yeah, that's true. Alright, he's getting his map check done. The pendant taken care of.
But Fryer with the silver arrows in a rather convenient location means that there's not going to be any advantage there for Ganon coming up.
Oh, boots in Skull Woods. That is certainly something you'd like to see early on. Especially in a location that your opponent may not check right away.
Yeah, absolutely. Fry will deliver in the smith here, but it's going to be interesting to see where it's going to go from there. It's likely going to go back to the Dark World, but will he start off by checking Skull Woods?
Alright, so just a piece of heart on the Bumper Cave ledge. Now, what Zheal did is a very interesting play. He picked up the boots and then just left Skull Woods. Like, there's one more item there. He's just like, nope.
It's quite the trip in to check that one middle chest, and possibly there isn't even anything there.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't even think he checked the two chests on the side. I think that chest he checked is the only one he touched.
Yeah, ooh, vanilla sword. Also, with that vanilla sword over on the smith for Fry, Zheal must have entered through the main entrance then.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to actually do that just in case there's like a small key there, then I can just route to the left and not have to worry about it.
It's definitely an interesting decision from Zheal, and it does seem unlikely he's going to go back in there until he gets the fire rod.
So saltyphry will be heading back into Village of Outcasts. So now we know where two more swords are. There's that one on the Smiths, and there's also the one at the Lake Hylia Island.
Yeah, and we do know that the mirror is required for Swamp, so we will be seeing at least tempered silver for Ganon's Tower.
At least for saltyphry. There is a chance Zheal never checks the blacksmith, but that's going to be pretty rare given the current setup.
Unless Zheal finds something in Thieves Town that's going to lead him to a completely different area, I feel pretty certain he's going to check it. Because he can still do the smiths, pick that up, and make the path southwards all the way towards Hype Cave, and then do the save and quit. Restart at Sanctuary, check King's Tome and Bonk Rocks, and then delivering the smith. In that sense, the routing is going to work out very well for him if he decides that that is the routing he's going to do.
Ooh, we've got a lamp.
That's our first fire source, always appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of item locations, very few that it opens up right now.
Right. Logically, it opens up, like, parts of pod, potentially, depending on the bowlock status. And of course, if we can ever find either mirror or hookshot, it would also get that Death Mountain area unlocked as well. Additional stuff. We already had those two spots checked by Zheal.
Yeah, we have seen that sequence break already and didn't yield anything.
Well, there's the small key, which means we can go pick up whatever is in the big chest. Probably a dungeon item at this point, but who knows. Nope, it's a red mail.
And that's not too bad, since it's just sitting on 5 hearts here, so it's a very nice safety item for him to pick up.
Yeah, now you can run your face into blind all you want, and it's just like, half a heart, whatever.
Could also just half magic cane it.
Yeah, emergency Brian strats are definitely on standby here.
Does seem pretty clear that he knows this fight inside out.
Hot dang and a half.
"31 minutes for the first crystal of the seed." And Fry will not be too far behind on this, but the longer he delays Skull Woods, the more time he's going to lose. So, just to repeat myself with something I said earlier with how Zheal can route this, do this frog tour all the way down to Hype Cave, possibly even using the hammer over to Pyramid if he wants to, then save and quit, start at Sanctuary, check King's Tome, and bonk rocks on the way to delivering the Smith.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm taking the catfish all the way over to the east side, I'm probably checking catfish too, just to be that guy.
Yeah, you may be that guy, because otherwise you tend to just want to do catfish when you're checking something like Graveyard Ledge and King's Tome. But Graveyard Ledge can't be checked right now, and King's Tome is very likely to be checked after a Sanctuary save and quit.
Alright, so the piece of heart revealed after 17 digs at the digging game.
Fry also had a very good blind fight.
We are very low on hearts right now, but at least the red mail is available.
Now, I have a suspicion that Zheal is actually going to deliver in the lunchbox as well after this.
It's very possible.
And the reason being, he did not check the hammer pegs.
Right. The peg cave is a sort of a loose square there. So that's another reason I would actually expect the catfish check, to be honest. Just, take this guy around as far as he'll go, then save and quit, deliver him, and then go do Purple Chest Peg Cave. Alright, so saltyphry now has those boots, and it's going to go over to the left side of Skullwoods. I do not believe Zheal checked.
I also do believe he decided to skip out on these. And I do think that we can just see Zheal decide to go for a full-scale world tour here. Tried to just find a small key and a map, so not like Zheal missed anything there.
And also, saltyphry not heading to the back of Skullwoods. That is, a reasonable play. We got the green rupee on Pyramid, and it looks like Zheal will be heading over towards Catfish.
Well, he's definitely putting this little frog to the full workout session.
Frog's like, Wait, I don't have any boots. What?
And we will see Fry do the two bonk location checks, or boots location checks, I mean.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be great. King's Tomb with the hook shot.
Now that's our East F Mountain access and East F Mountain Dark Roll access.
Let's be fair, I expect Zheal to pick that up right now.
Yeah, in about 15 seconds or so he will have the hook shot. The way he has managed to route this is very impressive and has definitely given him a lot of useful items from a lot of useful locations without having to go back and check some awkward item locations later on, like catfish.
Yep. So just a blue rupee in the Bonk Rocks. And now saltyphry will be heading directly to Death Mountain. Zheal, of course, will need to be turning in the blacksmith, but that will not take too long.
I did say earlier that by skipping the pig cave may be an indication that he's going to do the lunchbox, but he may skip out on that for now because he got that hook shot.
Yeah, with the hook shot, you might just be like, well, guess where I'm going.
Going up to Death Mountain. Can check every single item location up here. Even Tower of Hera, even if it is a basement locked, but then it's the question if you want to sit through that cutscene. Cutscene and cutscene tile room, it's basically the same thing.
And we see Zheal with the save and quit. I think that indicates a trip to Death Mountain. What about you?
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with that, considering he's gonna start up on Death Mountain.
Interesting. saltyphry is making the Spike Cave check right now.
With half magic and both invulnerability items in hand, pretty certain you can just get through without any problem.
Just a big 300 rupee drop there, but certainly not the worst thing you'd see. And that is actually a pretty good time to check Spike Cave while you're up there.
It is, and that one match he lost, the Go Mode item was in Spike Cave, so that may just be him learning from past mistakes. If you're wondering which item that was, it was the Ether Medallion.
Gross. All right.
Truly gross.
So, Zheal is now checking 5 items in Paradox Cave. We didn't see much in the bottom, or the middle, or whatever. Yeah, Paradox Cave turning out to be basically a bust here.
I guess Paradox Cave by itself is a double paradox, because there are 2 caves, but they're both treated as the same cave.
Mm-hmm. Alright, just 5, or not 5, a piece of heart on the floating island. Zheal looked like he was going to head over to Turtle Rock entrance and then decide, wait a minute, I don't have the mirror.
Yeah, that can be a bit tricky when you forget about the mirror and then you enter the Dark World and then you're like, oops, I did not want to route it this way. And even though Tower of Hera is just a pendant, it is a quick check as long as you get to avoid the basement.
Well, I don't know, Fuster Clucky. I've seen the flute in there a few times.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of goodies inside of this tower. Fry's gonna make a bit of a different play here.
All right, so we see a heart container there and the big key in Tower of Hera.
So it's quite likely that Fry will enter the Dark World after this.
All right, so that is a red rupee in Spiral Cave. So nothing really great in the entire Light World side of Death Mountain, except on top of Spectacle Rock, which you can't actually get to. I think that's both items in Hera, so we're not fire locked.
Yeah, just two big heart containers inside of Tower of Hera. Zheal opens up his menu and there's a little bit of thinking, and he's gonna opt to skip Moldorn for today.
And in so doing, he's actually kind of skipping Spiral Cave as well.
But what if he's gonna head over, do Spiral Cave, and then take the lower portals to the Dark World? Because that's what I thought that Fry was going to do, but he went back up again.
Nah, I think he went to the top of... Really? Ether?
Yeah, it's one of these seeds.
Like, you get two medallions, you're like, I'm gonna get on top of Turtle Rock so I can open it. Nope.
And Zheal may actually be skipping Spiral Cave altogether.
Yep, not actually gonna hurt him, strangely enough.
And that's our first bottle. Oh, and the cane!
Alright, so we got Red Cane. We now have Hookshot Cave to check here.
So finally finding these goodies over on Death Mountain. First bottle, King of Samaria, always required, but they can't enter Mire or Turtle Rock.
There's Ether. Of course. Of course it's in Hookshot Cave. And the bow!
What? Suddenly 3 major items was found within like 30 seconds, and yeah, Ether, Medallion for Turtle Rock, of course, it's right next to it.
I don't know about you, but I feel like Pod is just kind of screaming at me now.
I can agree with that, but I also feel like I really don't like to route Palace of Darkness without the mirror.
So what saltyphry is going to do here, he's actually going to go ahead and do Eastern Palace, finish that, and then go down to Pod. Which makes plenty of sense to me. Especially if you don't have the mirror.
Yeah, the lack of mirror here means that this is the faster play, I'm pretty certain. You do
Unless
the dungeon.
you actually find the mirror in Pod. This is faster. But you're not going to find the mirror in Pod. Or you might, but you can't really rely on that.
Never say never in Randomizer.
And Zheal is actually going to... Looks like he's actually going to try for that. So if you find the mirror in Pod, then when you finish Pod, you just mirror to Eastern and finish it. Which is a little faster.
Yeah, but if...
You can't guarantee that.
Yeah, so for Fry here, he's gonna be able to finish this dungeon, come back to the entrance, and then run down south and head over to the Dark World instead.
And it could very well be that the mirror is on Armos, so...
Yeah, Armos does have an item. It could also simply be that Zheal is just... He's not interested in that one item at this point, and may just come back later. We're still looking for both rods, mirror, and flute at this moment.
Alright, so Pod was not immediately bow-locked today. Zheal is having to do the unfortunate navigation of Pod without the mirror.
And Fry gets to do one of the easiest fights in the game.
Alright, just a big 20 on the Armos Knights.
very likely that Fry is now going to make his trip into Palace of Darkness.
There's a big 20 on the bridge chest. In pod.
This automatically makes routing this dungeon a bit awkward because you're gonna get a small key here, but now you can check the vanilla big key location.
Yeah, I think at this point you just go right side.
Yeah, you go right side and get the 2 chests, use the hammer, and then you're very likely going to find 2 small keys over here.
Well, you very much hope, though, that you find something other than a small key, because then you can skip the big key chest. Because you know it's just a small key.
Yeah, pod is pretty interesting in how the small keys are forced to be distributed in a dungeon.
Nope. There very well could be a big something in the big key chest.
Still feel like that's one of the later item locations you will check. Fry's gonna take a hit and has to go back and get the monkey.
Gross. It's not the end of the world, though.
It's a few seconds, but it could also be one of those things that just annoys you more than it should.
Zheal getting acquainted with the beetle knockback there.
And this game does have some interesting physics on some objects. I think Zheal overstepped his boundaries there.
So, here's a tip for Zheal. You know that bow you have equipped? It works on those Helmosaurs, no matter where you hit them from.
Yeah, but you wouldn't think that it does because they have this big shield head thing.
Yeah, it's weird. And it works regardless of whether you're packing silver arrows or not.
This game is very interestingly designed, and our big key is down here in the rupee room.
Can you explain how key dash works? So you need to be a multiple of 4 pixels away from the door. And when you dash, if you do that and you dash toward the door, you will dash right through it. There are ways to set that up. So if you sort of graze around an object before you get there, you'll start at exactly 4 pixels away. If you start on the edge of a room, you'll be 4 pixels away. Yeah, that's the general idea. Wow, there is a bot command for key dash. That is impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. I do believe, however, that there is one direction in which you cannot key dash.
Yes. I think down. You can key dash down.
I don't remember which direction it is, but it could be down. Also, Zheal is just taking a death warp here back to the entrance.
I know you can key dash up, and I know you can key dash left and right, so...
It must be down then.
Oh, there is the mirror in the big key chest of Pod.
That's so painful. Oh, man. Well, Swamp is fully clearable now, so that seems like the next destination.
Yeah, swamp is a thing. The other thing they can do, they can go get the book off of Spectacle Rock. I don't expect them to do that at the moment. But it might be the next thing.
You get the book, you check the ether tablet, you save and quit, enter the dark well at Link's house, you check K45 into Bombo's tablet into Swamp.
That's not the worst idea, to be honest. It's a pretty solid route. But of course, if everything you wanted was in Swamp, then those little checks were pretty useless. It depends on how thorough you want to be with your checks, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And on the other hand, Swamp is a crystal that you can full clear, and as always, something that you need to do in the end anyway. And there's also just that point of, yeah, Swamp has 6 items, you can full clear it, yay, but maybe you can go mode it. It would require quite a specific item location setup though. So if I actually check the mirror location before heading into the deeper parts of Paddles of Darkness, you should be able to route this a little bit faster.
Yep, he'll save a little bit of time there, and of course he will. Now he's already cleared Eastern, and Zheal hasn't, but Zheal will be able to mirror right to Eastern.
Oh yeah, I believe we spent a lot of time talking about that before.
Yeah, it's something that doesn't ever happen, and did.
Yeah, routing just works out very well for Zheal. So Powder from Helmasaur King makes the decision to go ahead and do the lunchbox a little bit more lucrative as well.
Very true.
So you could go pick up the book, do Ether Tablet, then do Hammer Pegs if you haven't done that, do Bat Cave, pick up the lunchbox, run the way down, check Cave 45 into Bumble's Tablet while you deliver the chest, and then into Swamp.
That is a solid sequence of checks right there.
It sounds good in theory, but then you just go to Swamp and it could have both rods and flute.
To be fair, I don't think I've ever seen a Swamp Palace with that much value, but you never know.
You never know, and the more you know. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how our players are going to route this when they're finished with these crystal dungeons.
You know where saltyphry might go right after this?
Pick up the sword?
Yep. There's a sword on the floating island. Or not the floating island, Lake Hylia Island. And that kind of makes me think, I want to kill Argus faster. Let's do that.
Do you like picking up the sword and then heading into ice?
No, ice is a pendant.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. It is something that you're likely thinking about, but not something you want to do in the time to come when you have all of these other locations to check.
When you have pendant dungeons, or when you have crystal dungeons you can clear, yeah, it's generally not a great idea to go with diving pendant dungeons.
Absolutely. Well, both our players here finding their respective crystals in Eastern Pod. And now is that moment of truth how they're gonna route this. Will we see a book being picked up, or will we just see straight Swamp?
Alright, so saltyphry is heading to Mountain Cave. So this looks like it might be a check on the book. Both runners going for the book, it looks like.
Yeah, both of them want that book. Now let's see if they're gonna make this long sequence with the lunchbox, or if they just want to check Bumble's tablet before making a dip into Swamp. At least gonna be able to check the Ether tablet while they're up here.
I mean, the thing is, yeah, pendant dungeons are often contain items you want, but I still don't think, even if they are likely to contain something. If you have a crystal dungeon you can complete, you go do that.
Absolutely. Instead, it's gonna take this spy cave check. Didn't do that earlier. We could also see a pedestal check.
Yeah, that is theoretically possible. I imagine you might want to save that for once you've got the fire rod, but, well, if saltyphry is heading this way, that may be what's happening.
And all three items we're looking for could all be on the pedestal.
Yeah, fire rod, ice rod,
Flute.
flute.
But Zheal, he wants to dip into swamp.
Yeah, I feel like you might do Bombo's tablet first, and the pedestal is in fact dead.
And the thing is that if you know it's pedestal, then you at least know, oh, I have to do all dependent dungeons. Now it's like, ugh, I have to do ice maybe? I don't want to do ice.
Yeah, and I mean, at least now you know that if you're in a pendant dungeon and, you know, you find all the items, you can get out.
Yeah, and we saw that in Tower of Hera, just 2 big heart containers there.
So Zheal's going to handle swamp first, it looks like. Oh, saltyphry just remembered something.
Oh, Sick Kid. I completely forgotten about him.
Yep, just a big 20.
I guess Sick Kid is forgettable.
Alright, first item in swamp is a piece of heart.
And I think that both our players, when they make this trip into swamp, they're likely going to rush coals there first and then go back and check left side after if it's required.
Yeah. Now, if I were Zheal, I definitely would have gone to grab the sword first, but that's really neither here nor there.
The difference between Master and Tempered is quite significant,
Oh,
but the Fire Rod is
Fire
even
Rod!
more significant!
So the fire rod was locked behind Pod there, and saltyphry is just gonna abandon the. Oh no, he's gonna save and quit with the purple chest. Duh.
Yeah, but he may just decide to deliver this in and just leave Bombo's tablet and K45 for later. No, he's bringing out the hammer.
Yeah, he's gonna go turn in the purple chest and do Bombo's tablet. K45 may not be a thing that he does, but we'll see. Another item in swamp, that is the +5 arrow upgrade.
That is 2 items, so there's a possibility map and compass are on the left side. This fire rod, I do believe there is still 1 item left in Skull Woods.
That is very true.
And are you willing to make the dip into Turtle Rock with the fire rod?
Probably, actually. I'd probably do swamp first. That's 4 items out of swamp.
This is a really good swamp in that regard. Did we curse it? A little.
Yep, there's the big key. Which, the thing is, having found no map or compass, I might turn around and go open the big chest.
And here's gonna be this sword for Fry. It's a very early checked sword on the Hylia Island. It does look like Fry has something else in mind before making this trip into Swamp.
All right, so Zheal takes down Argus. On Argus, we find the flute.
Oh dear, so that leaves Ice Rod for no mode. Now this means that if Fry can find the Ice Rod before heading into Swamp, he may not decide, or he doesn't have to go back in and check the left side. And
Right.
Zheal is not going to do that in the first place.
Yeah, Zheal is going to leave one item in Swamp. And it's really just about as likely to be the Ice Rod as any other location.
The Ice Rod can be literally anywhere except Trinex. What we can say, of course, is that it's not in Tower of Hera, it's not Pedestal, it's not Lumberjack.
It's not either of the tablets.
But will this book that leads to Desert give the Ice Rod?
Desert could be a situation. Now with the flute, we actually have two ways of getting to Desert.
Yeah, Desert Meyer check seems like a pretty solid choice here for sale, and this Meyer that he can open up will also give him Pyramid Fairy.
Mhm. Alright, so everybody say hi to Swag Duck as Zheal goes to check that sick kid.
It's good to not forget about this item location. Only one bottle, and it was quite late.
Now, is Zheal going to check Magic Bat is the question. That's a no.
That's a uh-oh.
Saltyphry dealing with Mothula, no problem there. Just the compass, meaning we still have not found the remaining item. It's either in the big chest or in the bridge chest here in the back.
Yes, there is still that one item remaining. It makes most sense for Fry to go back in and check this chest on the side. And Meyer today is always containing two items. It's a crystal that is fully clearable, and then there's the Pyramid Fairy that comes with it.
So the last item in Skullwoods is in the big chest. So Saltyphry will be going back by that, I imagine.
It's just very annoying to have to walk back all this way just to check that one chest. The difference is right now, Fluid Argus Fire Rod from Batcave. I'm still looking for this Ice Rod. Zheal, of course, just finds a small key. Pretty standard for there to be a small key there.
Alright, just a big 20 as the last item in Skull Woods. So Saltyphry will need to go elsewhere.
he is not leaving the Dark World
I think this
graveyard
is a
ledge.
graveyard ledge check, yeah.
It is getting to that moment where it's just a couple of fringe item locations here and there. This and K45.
So this K45, he could do swamp. He could dip ice or desert.
And Zheal has found the first item in Mire. It was just one arrow.
Well, that's clearly important, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure. I guess.
Oh, Zheal having to do the block pushing without the fire rod here.
Also won't be able to use the fire rod for the Mire rod glitch in the basement.
Womp womp. I get the feeling I'm never gonna make that work.
I have a feeling I'll never understand how it works. Oh, Fry is leaving K45 for now and will make his trip into Swamp. This is going to give him the flute.
Very true. And we also note that there was one item in Swamp that Zheal didn't get his hands on. So saltyphry may check that one. We'll see.
Zheal spending all that time to wait just to get a map. And we're past the hour mark here, and Fry is still only on 8 hearts.
Well, so with Mire, the logic is if the compass chest has a small key, then the big key chest will definitely have a big key. But if the compass chest does not have a small key, that doesn't mean the big key chest can't have the big key. It's only the first part that's true, not the converse.
What?
So you have to go 2 screens away there. You have to basically leave the double tile.
There's a lot of rooms that work this way where things start to interact just in the nearby room and you have to move 2 to reset.
Alright, so it looks like Vidi has the last item.
It does. Landmola's 2 fight in Gannis Tower is another one of these where Landmola's begin to load in on the room before.
Right. Yeah, that is another location like that. So in Pod, where you have that falling bridge, and you go down, it does reset, and that makes sense. But if you go right to the next room and then come back, it doesn't. So it's another situation where you have to reset that bridge in a different way.
It's a lot of these small things that really shows how much time have I really put into this game to understand all of these design decisions that they made back in the day.
Zheal gets blocked by the stupid spike. That always bugs me when I'm trying to do the little cane dash glitch thing.
And the spike exists for 2 reasons. To go back and forth and try and hurt you, or go back and forth and try to annoy you in other ways.
Yep. Also to make weird sounds.
That's just a byproduct. Salvero Vitreous is one of the nicer Vitreous fights.
Yeah, this should be sort of a massacre. saltyphry also not going to go back for the big chest here.
Well, Meyer just gave us some bomb capacity upgrades and that one arrow. Maybe Pyramid Fairy will have better luck. Still, Zheal decided to go in and do Meyer before checking any other item location here, so still has the shed and still has checkerboard, and of course make the dip into desert, which is the green pendant.
Yeah, I don't think I would. Oh, there's the ice rod. So never mind. Well, he's still got to find the fire rod, which we know is a magic bat.
But you imagine that Fry is now going to use this flute after this great Argus fight and just head over to the Meyer area and check this.
Yeah, this could put Salty in go mode pretty soon.
Fry, is he going to make this K45 check then that I've been talking about for way too long?
Looks like it.
Well, makes a lot of sense for him, and just run up to the village after this and activate the flute.
Zheal finds the vanilla small key in desert.
And with that, we can also say that not a single visit into a pendant dungeon was required this seed.
Yep, very true.
No visit into ice. Desert is being visited now, and Tower of Hera had 2 heart containers.
Yeah, Zheal has activated the flute. Saltyphry just literally got it.
Sadly, we do know right now that Zheal is spending time the wrong spots.
Alright, so Zheal found both items in desert. I doubt he goes for green pendant.
He's not going to, but Fry is gonna check this shed first, and that will put him in go mode. And Zheal is meanwhile heading back to the village.
Ooh, this could be big. Alright, Saltyphry at 1 hour 12 minutes and 55 seconds has entered go mode.
Now, if Zheal decides to check Bat Cave right now, we have an incredibly close race on our hands.
Oh boy, it looks like Zheal is headed that direction.
He's gonna pick up the lunchbox. Yeah, he hasn't done the pegs yet either. And Zheal has to go back in and do Skull Woods, but he only needs to kill Mophila. He doesn't have to check the additional chest in the back. But he has not been on the island to pick up the sword. No,
Zheal is skipping the bat.
Oh, has he forgotten about it? Please don't tell me he's forgotten about it. Oh, man. This is a sad state of affairs that we're viewing right now. So close yet so far.
I mean, it wouldn't have been that much to just mirror real quick, jump in, check the bat, so...
Yeah, and it's something that you do when you're there in the first place. But if he goes back right now and does this and decides to not do something like head into ice, he's gonna do Pyramid Fairy.
All right.
And this makes a lot of sense. It's 2 items. The Fire Rod could be there. So the best thing Zheal can find here is the final sword upgrade.
And you should really go get the other sword upgrade.
Can you swim with the bomb?
I mean, no. I mean, you can't get it right now. Just saying after the Pyramid Fairy. That'd be about as convenient as any other time.
Yeah, that seems pretty plausible. It's just that I fear that in this situation, if he's gonna pick up the sword, he's gonna go into ice.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That would be bad.
Oh, we get to see if Fry is familiar with the Mire Rod glitch.
Well, he's gonna try it for sure. Oh, no, he's not.
This glitch has evolved quite significantly the past day.
What's this about a flute? There's somebody
Flute?
talking about a flute instead of a fire rod. I don't understand.
I mean, I don't understand how the glitch is executed or how it works in well, anything, so...
Alright, Zheal picked up the fire rod. He is... Or not the fire rod, the, the tempered sword. He is not headed to ice. He is heading to 3.
Oh, yes.
Is this magic bat?
This can't be...
Yes!
It can't be anything other than Magic Bat. But Fry has taken down Vitreous and he will now be heading towards Turtle Rock just as Zheal is going to enter Go mode, but he still has to do Scald Woods.
And there we go. There is the fire rod for Zheal, putting him in Go mode at roughly 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 45 seconds.
But he is a Mothula away from Fry in this position. But he does have a few advantages over Fry. He has a higher health count. Also has significantly more arrows available to him. This could also be one of these races that just ends up with a left-right side Ganon's Tower.
All right, so saltyphry will now be entering Turtle Rock. This will be the 7th crystal dungeon for him, and it will be a straight shot to Trinex as quickly as possible.
So it's quite dependent on where you find the big key, how many small keys you find early, and how many chests you have to open on Laser Bridge.
Yep, there is some sort of divergence we might see if you find the big key outside of its vanilla chest, whether or not the runners decide to check the big chest or not. There is the big key.
That's about, yeah, it's as early as you can get this big key. Oh, that Mothula fight though was incredible, and Fry likely went there because he knew about those arrows.
Yeah, that's some pretty solid brain power there. Because you definitely need some number of arrows coming up for the Ganon fight, and maybe for the Gauntlet, depending on how you decide to run it.
You can see how close this race is.
Alright, so Zheal will now be heading up to Turtle Rock as well.
In terms of potion, both our players are sitting on a single red potion.
I believe that is correct. Both picked up in Super Bunny Cave, I think.
Yeah, Super Bunny Cave had a bottle and the cane, right?
Yeah.
And then the bow was in hookshot. That was a really weird dead rock block for Zheal.
Alright, so saltyphry is going to pick up a small key off of this Pokey. I imagine we will not be seeing the contents of the vanilla big key chest.
Nope.
So now we just need to find out whether saltyphry goes for the big chest or not.
Mimikay will also not be checked. There's no reason to check it. I just hope that Sailor's gonna go down to the bottom left and pick up his big key after this.
So saltyphry will be going for the big key, or the big chest. Let's see if it has a small key. That's what he wants to see. It's just a big 20.
That means that Laser Bridge needs to be checked.
Well, unless this upcoming chest is a key.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about this one. Like I said, I can predict the future.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, just blindly accept everything I say. Anyway, that bug net is not going to be used. They have one bottle and it's filled with a red potion, so... I mean, I highly doubt our players will be using the bug net on Aghanim.
Zheal had a bit of a better time getting through the chain chomp room than Salty did, making up a little bit of time there.
That's a good location for that small key.
Sure is. No need to check the rest of it. We've got Tempered Sword, we've got Silvers. I don't see our runners doing anything else that they don't have to. Almost looked like Zheal was going to open that door. Luckily, it wouldn't have hurt him because the other small key is actually guaranteed to be in that chest at this point.
Yeah. With that said, we're gonna see this Trinex fight now from saltyphry. It's a really good first phase for Fry.
And we go to set up the spins. Krynex explodes exactly 56 times before he becomes vulnerable.
They did the math.
I know this because I count to 8 7 times and then I release.
You have my full trust on these facts. With that said, I think it's time for a little game in Ganon's Tower. What do you say?
It is definitely time for the Big Key Guessing Game.
22 possible item locations. One of them has the big key. Where could it be? Well, get your guesses in. And as Zheal is going around in circles trying to figure out how to navigate this room, if you're a subscriber and or have donated a total of 250 bits to any of the Speed Gaming channels and you're the first to guess right, you'll be entering the leaderboard. So Fry making the standard trip here and checking the right side for our first 2 item locations.
Whoa!
Hey,
Chest
number one! It's not the perfect Ganon's Tower though, because you still need to find that small key before you can head up.
Yeah, so we just go over and grab the one under the pot, and saltyphry just books it up GT.
And congratulations, I should say, to Stone Swan for being the first person to guess it right. And Fry did also opt to skip out on that heart container on the torch.
Fry not even reaching the second row of hearts today.
He's feeling extremely confident that he has everything he needs to finish the seed. Zheal has finished off Trinex and will now be making his trip into Ganon's Tower.
I don't imagine we'll be seeing the location of the final sword. But, you know, that could save some amount of time on Ganon if you're unfamiliar with the 1-1 cycle.
I do find it unlikely that Fry, considering all of these other locations he's been skipping out, he's not gonna look for that sword.
Yeah, he's not touching the blame thing. He's not even gonna bother with the powder on this bunny beam as we get ready for silver arrow strats on Landmo 2, missing the second and third shot, getting trolled a little bit.
So they'll find if he can get manages to get the second cycle. Zheal also number 1 with the big key for him, so he's not gonna be losing any time at least. Zheal, of course, is significantly healthier than Fry at this moment. Also not interested in the heart. Oh, Zheal didn't pick up the small key when it went left.
I think he grabbed the pot and then just didn't actually get the key.
That must be the only conclusion.
That has got to be the, like... That would tilt me so hard, is what I'm saying.
Oh, I fully see that. Fry's been able to get through the gauntlet without any problem. So will Fry use the powder, or is he confident in 4.5 hearts here?
He's got the powder out. I think that's completely reasonable.
I'm still skipping a chest. You just walk right by. Nope, don't care about you.
So, personally, I did have an experience where I was getting those fairies, and I just happened to check that chest for no reason in this exact situation and found the butter sword there.
Oh, he's gonna check the final chest and just find a piece of heart there, and not even going to give him the second row. Zheal is doing good work here in the gauntlet, but Fry's lead is significant at this moment.
That is very true. There would have to be some sort of disaster to change the outcome of this race. Alright, there's a nice double on Aga2. That could have been a double, except for the blue ball. And there we go. So that's a 1-2-1-2 for saltyphry. Certainly nothing wrong with that particular Ganon fight. So saltyphry will now be heading over, or Ganon fight, Aga2 fight. saltyphry will now be heading to the Ganon fight, while Zheal is heading through the Wizrobe rooms at Ganon's Tower. Pretty close race, all things considered.
Indeed, a 4-phase or 4-cycle Aga2 is still a really good fight, and some of these patterns were rather awkward, and also a blue ball thrown in there. And Fry did get the spin of the trident. And even though Fry doesn't have any backup magic potions, he's sitting on half magic doing this, and he's not gonna need all this magic for phase 4.
Yeah, so massive cape strats, certainly fine.
Well, Fry tried to set up a potential double, triple, or something along those lines, but sadly tried to fire the torch instead.
And this should do it. Ooh.
Just still be a little bit careful. They get a double in, so he only needs one more hit to finish off Ganon, and I think it's gonna get it right now.
There we go. saltyphry finishing off Ganon.
And with that, of course, that is his 5th win in this tournament, as he will go through to the next stage.
And the official time for saltyphry is 1 hour, 33 minutes, and 20 seconds. So, well played for saltyphry.
It's a really good time. As you can see, Zheal not too far behind, now finishing off Aga2.
And we are joined by the winner today, saltyphry. Congratulations, and well played.
Thank you very much.
So, any general thoughts on the seed?
Overall, it came together really nicely. I was a little worried when my last item was the ice rod. I was getting ready to go right into Turtle Rock to start looking for it at that point in time, but it turned out to be one of the first chests I checked, which is fantastic in that situation.
So, what do you think about your routing this seed?
Early on, it was, I guess, a little tough because kind of everything was kind of everywhere. You basically had to go everywhere. I guess you could have skipped Eastern, but that would have been kind of tough. It would have been almost impossible for me, theoretically, to do. I don't know, of a situation where I check both Ice Rod Cave and Aegina's Cave. So I was almost certainly going to dip there, which led to you basically clearing everything until you got that Moon Pearl. After that, everything kind of fell together pretty nicely. It kind of felt like I started over in Hype Cave, which didn't really pay off a whole lot. I was mainly started over there because I was looking for hearts, because I only had 4 or 5, I think, at that point in time, and I was going to go into Thieves Town. I figured try to find a couple before that. But overall, like, it felt good, because other than my Eastern Palace double dip, I didn't really double dip anything. I avoided all the pendants, which felt good as well. I took the bait on the book, but that was mostly to figure out if I wanted to go start checking pendants or if I was going to go into Swamp at that point in time.
Yeah, you're
Zheal, I think, just got a triple arrow there. Great.
Zheal did indeed get a triple on the Ganon fight.
So yeah, pretty close race here. The main difference in some of your routing, Zheal got, I believe it was Zheal who, no, maybe it was you. Well, the boots happened pretty early. Did you go straight into Skullwoods, or did?
No, I took a little while before I made it in there.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, Zheal got the boots a little earlier than you, but he was also debated into both Desert and Hera, and actually took a little while to go to Magic Bat.
Yeah, that could do it. That's always one of those locations that sometimes you just don't think about, even when you got the powder and you have access to it.
So Zheal is also in our setup room, so I'm going to go ahead and bring him on in.
And Zheal now has joined us. He finished with an official Speed Racing TV time of 1 hour, 35 minutes, 46 seconds.
Hey there.
GG.
Thanks. GG, you too. The fire rod cost me, right?
Yes, basically.
Yeah, I knew it. It was too easy spot, far too late.
Yeah, that was
But
the
yeah, it happens.
that was the main difference. But it was very, very close.
And Zheal now has joined us. He finished with an official Speed Racing TV time of 1 hour, 35 minutes, 46 seconds. And also you, Zheal, would you like to talk a little bit about how you routed this seed?
Yes, basically.
Let me see. My light bulb is all bad. Always.
Yeah, that
Let's
was
see.
the main difference.
Something wasn't
But it was
oh yeah, the flippers, right? I thought about fake flippering first.
Yeah.
And
That would have
in
been
the end, I
unfortunate,
had only Zora or Agina's cave, and I thought I can check Agina's cave and found some rupees on the way. If it's not Agina, then I got the flippers and went up to Zora. That was fine. Oh yeah, the moon pearl was up there, of course, on the ledge.
Right. So your opponent actually didn't farm the rupees on the way up there and didn't get to check Zora, but actually ended up never going back, I think. So
I was
Okay.
thinking about that right after I went and checked Gina's cave. I was like, oh crap, I should have probably stopped on the way and gotten rupees, but I'm like, I'll go
Where
check
did you
all
get
these
the
locations.
rupees?
I never ended
Where-
up getting them. I just went and I skipped Zora. I checked everything
Oh,
else
I
in that
see.
area.
Okay.
There was enough other checks between Hobo and Waterfall Cave and Zora's Ledge. I was going to take my chance that maybe the item was there.
Yeah, in the Dark World, I went to the Dark World in Kakariko, and I thought immediately I should have went in the Dark World over Link's house. But in the end, it was not so bad. I found the boots immediately in Skullwoods. That was pretty big.
Yeah, I started in Hype Cave and worked my way over to Kakariko from there, but all I got was a few hard pieces. There wasn't really much coming from that way.
Yeah, I went the other side around.
yeah, so it turned out that I think the Kakariko play was a little better that time because you got the boots real early. Just needed to make sure that after Pod you took care of that magic powder, and that was the real decision that kind of changed this race.
Yeah, the problem was I also kind of forgot it. I went for the purple chest, and I completely forgot about Mad Batter, unfortunately. So I went back later. I wanted to go Mad Batter, then check the pedestal. Because Fire could also be on the pedestal. I had Bombos for Ice Palace.
Yeah, your opponent actually did check the pedestal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because at that point in time, I was debating on whether I was going to go into swamp or start dipping into some of those pendants. So I figure I would check the pedestal first and see, because pretty much every item we could beat or at least I could have beaten every pendant dungeon at that point in time.
Yeah, it was nothing led you into a pendant dungeon, and you also got the items really quickly. So for me, there was no need to go and kill a boss. You got both items in desert really early and in Hera too.
I actually think those pendant dungeons were the difference between your and your opponent's heart total, because there were 3 hearts between those 2 places.
I never even got a second row of hearts there.
There were 2 heart containers in Tower of Hera.
Oh, I see. Oh, you didn't go into desert or Hera?
Nope, I never touched a single pendant dungeon.
Oh, okay.
It was interesting because ice was always on my mind from the very beginning of Dark World, because we had access to be able to clear it right from the very start of Dark World.
Yeah, for me too. But if something is a no-go for me, then it's Pendant Ice Palace, really.
I do not
Pendant
blame
Ice
you for
Palace is
that.
something I would only go if I have no other choice.
I always keep
Well,
those
that's
things in the
really out
back
of
of
the
my
way,
mind,
okay.
though, just in case.
Yeah, of course.
So I have a question for you, Zheal. Did you avoid going to get the Tempered Sword for so long because you thought you might want to go to Ice Palace after that?
Yes, there was one point, and also I had nothing, like, since I had no fire rod, and I need the fire rod for Mocula and for Trinex and to get there. I didn't need it. I mean, I thought maybe I can get a moment where I can get it on the way, like, for example, if I want to go to Ice Palace. But I simply didn't need it. There was nothing that would have helped me the Tempered Sword with.
Yeah. All right. So is there anything else you guys would like to say about this race before we wrap things up here today?
I'm actually pretty happy. He just gambled better with no and not entering any pendant dungeons, but I'm actually okay. The
I just
worst
like
thing
to-
about this seed for me was the trolley key again, so I hate this guy.
I'll just say thanks to you guys for commentating. Thanks to the restreamers. Thanks to the trackers. And GG, Zheal. And good luck next week. Hopefully you get into the brackets. Maybe we'll have a rematch
For
there.
you too. We will, hopefully. Thanks.
And we obviously thank both of you for being so good at this game and participating in this tournament, because without you, we wouldn't be here commentating you. That said, we'd also like to thank our tracker, JLo7. Also like to thank Cyclone for helping out behind the scenes, and be sure to follow all of our Twitch channels. That's Speed Gaming 1 through 6 and ALTTP Randomizer 1 through 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you to everybody behind the scenes and during the race here today. And of course, thank you to you, Marjevic, for your co-commentary here.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Bobtastic. It's been a pleasure, as always.
And of course, if you enjoyed what you saw here, the best way to support those involved is just give them a follow here on Twitch, and I'm sure we would all appreciate that. So with that, I think I'm just going to wrap things up here. I will just say that I have been Dr. Bobtastic.
I've been Marjevich, and obviously you are looking forward to more Link to the Past Randomizer, and we do have it for you in just about 10 to 15 minutes, 2 more races. I'm You Bliss versus Someone 325 on Speed Gaming 3, and Shinsi Koden versus Hexmage on ALTTP Randomizer.
Indeed. So with that, I think it's time to wrap it up, so we'll see you later, everybody.